Welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime Sigouin. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player. And I've been vegan for 9 years. I've also been able to coach over 350 vegans from 20 different countries to completely transform their bodies and their health. I'm excited for you to listen to today's episode. Let's get into the show. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Wow, it feels so good to say that. I haven't been able to record for a little while simply because I was moving, but really excited to be back. As you guys can see, if you're watching on YouTube, we are in our new home that we moved back into Canada, and then behind me, I'll be working on building the set over the course of the upcoming weeks. But today I want to bring you some pure value in, you probably saw by the title, 5 ways to know if you should be increasing your food, because what I see happen often with members that are starting with us is that they are severely under eating, and it seems to be a common theme amongst people who wants to lose weight, right? They've tried everything, and everything that they've tried naturally tells people to be in a calorie deficit. And so if you've been under eating for a very long time, it is counterproductive very quickly when you're trying to lose weight, especially if you stay in that state for years. Very stressful on the body. And so today I want to share 5 ways that if you're experiencing any of these things, you should potentially increase your food for a little bit. What I mean a little bit, 6 months to a year potentially, right? Just to allow your body a chance to recharge its battery, get all the vitamins and nutrients that it needs. Because even if you're eating a healthy, balanced, whole food, plant-based diet, but you're in a 1,500 calorie deficit, there's missing 1,500 calories that could be loaded with nutrients, right? You're getting good nutrients and you're just not getting enough of them in. And so the first way is if you're always tired, right? If you're constantly tired, you're having a good night of sleep, you're only drinking, 1 or 2 coffees a day. And I'm talking about a normal mug, not those big mugs that you see at Costco, right? If you're always tired, you're not recovering from the exercise that you're doing, potentially a little bit cranky, that would be a good sign to potentially consider re-increasing your food a little bit. And I'll share with you how to do that at the end of this podcast episode, just as a little solution bonus. But if you know that you've been trying to lose weight for a while and it hasn't been budging, and you're just always, exhausted, tired, cranky, not feeling that you can recover, like you're constantly trying to, stay afloat with everything that's happening, it might be a time for you to add a little bit more food to your daily intake. The second point is anytime you eat something that is slightly out of what you're normally used to, you put on some weight, right? That is a good reflection that your metabolism is potentially really slow, which is something that happens when you've been eating in a calorie deficit for a long time. I've explained this principle before, but you have to understand that your body's only job is to survive. And how does it do that? It adapts to the environment that is around you. And so if you've been giving your body very little amount of energy in the form of calorie, your body has learned to become efficient at living your day-to-day life on that smaller amount of calories. Because again, your body doesn't care that you want to lose weight. Your body doesn't care that you want a bigger booty, a flat stomach, bigger arms if you're a guy, or a bigger chest. All it cares about is, I want to live. And so it'll adapt its mechanisms to be able to perform on a small amount of calories. And so that's why when you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time, the gestures with your hands is probably very minimal. Maybe you don't blink as much, which I've experienced when I was competing for my bodybuilding show. Like, system starts to shut down. It just starts to slow you down. So yeah, you do feel like you have less energy today because your body's operating on less and is just learning to operate on a smaller amount of food. And so if we were to use an analogy to that, your body's basically becoming a Prius, right? You put some gas in a tank, it'll be able to go for a very long time. But if you're trying to improve your body composition, you want to be a Hummer, right? You want to be very inefficient with the energy source that's coming in. You want to be burning through it, which won't help you with the fat loss if you're a Prius, right? You give your body some food, it'll learn to live on it, it'll make it last a really long time. And so every time you give a little bit more, that's when your body tends to put on a little bit more weight a lot faster because you have a slower metabolism, right? So if that's you, there's a chance for you to start eating a little bit more food. Point number 3 is if you simply know that you've been in a calorie deficit for a very long time. Again, like I said, this is very common. It happens very often. And just be honest with yourself. If you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time, you should definitely consider increasing your food intake, because your body needs more energy in order to recover. The thing is, you think about fat loss, but you also have to think of your health, right? How are the energy systems in your body? How are your organs responding to having less energy? How are they responding to receiving less vitamins and nutrients? Again, if you eat 1,500 calories of healthy food, who do you think is going to get more nutrients if you would be able to eat 2,500 calories of healthy food? You're obviously going to get more at that level, which therefore will be better for your body, right? All your levels are going to be topped off. So if you know you've been under eating for a long time, you should probably get out of a calorie deficit. So the fourth one is you don't recover from your workouts, right? You're someone that's physically active, or potentially you started a new workout routine, or you've been pushing yourself a little bit more, and you simply can't recover. You're always tired every time you're doing your workout. You never feel like you're fully able to recharge your battery. That is a good sign that you should increase your daily food intake, and also potentially increase the quality of your food intake. And then point number 5 is if you just look at food and you gain weight, right? It sounds very similar from the first one, but I feel like you guys will be able to notice the difference. There's some of you that can maybe eat an extra snack and you're like, oh, I'm gaining weight. And those of you that feel that if you look at a cookie, your body just adds 5 pounds on your body, right? So if you feel that that's you, it would be a good opportunity for you to add some more food to your daily food intake. And I'll show you how to do that without having to put on the 5 pounds every time you look at a cookie or a Buddha bowl, or you look at a drink that you want to have. So if again, you connect with any of these 5 scenarios, and I just ask you to be honest, because it might not be the most fun thing to hear, that you're going to have to increase your food intake, that you won't be able to pursue a fat loss phase. But here's the reality, and I've seen this over and over again with members that work with us. If you're coming in at a deep calorie deficit, you've been under eating for a very long time, your metabolism is shot. It's extremely low. And there's only one way to speed it up, and that is through reverse dieting. You probably heard me talk about this often on the podcast, but reverse dieting is basically where we slowly and methodically increase calories to your daily food intake. And we make small increases every single week, depending on how your body is responding to the increase and to the adjustment in your training and cardio. And so we do that every single week. And over the course of 3 months, 6 months, and for some people a year, we're able to bring them back to a level of maintenance while having sustained the current weight that they're at once we start the reverse dieting. And so if you're not at the ideal weight that you want, but you know you've been under eating for a long time, unfortunately, you have to reverse diet. There's literally nowhere you can go besides dig deeper, and that's extremely unhealthy, and I don't recommend it. That's our members that come in and work with us that are severely under eating. We're like, hey, I know you want to come in and lose 20 pounds, but unfortunately at this point, we need to reverse diet for at least 3 months in order to put you in a position so you can actually have a fat loss, right? Health is always going to be your number one priority. At the end of the day, would you rather be sick with a nice body or be healthy with a nice body? Because you can have both, but you just have to reverse diet, which will take a little bit longer, but it's absolutely fine, because what is 6 months in the entirety of your lifetime? It's a very small fraction of time. And so reverse dieting, you slowly add food on a week-to-week basis. Again, depending on how your body is responding, I'm sure you can Google it. We actually did a podcast on reverse dieting with my nutrition coach, David Mathis, that you can find a few episodes down. It was a little bit a while back, but you can find it. It's a full podcast we did exactly on reverse dieting and how to do it. So I highly recommend that you do that if you've been under eating for a very long time. It's going to put you in a position where you can actually do a fat loss. The important key here is I see people do a reverse dieting and then go straight into a fat loss phase. You have to spend some time at maintenance calorie, because you need to give your body time to adjust to it. You need to give a chance for your body to catch a break, right? You've been in deficit for a long time. You're training hard. You've been under stress. You go up there, and then when you're at maintenance, it's basically giving your body breathing room, right? Your head is above water, you're floating properly, you have your life jacket, you're like, oh, okay, I can catch my breath now. What a lot of people do is, they're swimming, trying to get their head above water and breathing, and they finally get a buoy, and they're like, great, let go of the buoy, and they start drowning again, trying to fight to take some breath. Don't do that with your nutrition. Increase your food, stay at maintenance for 1 month, for at least 2 months, ideally 6 months, ideally a year. it is very stressful in the body to be in a calorie deficit. I can't stress that enough. You're talking about health issues. You can be eating whole food, plant-based, being physically active, sleeping properly. But if you live in a state of chronic stress from being in a calorie deficit, there are going to be health consequences to that. You might not think so because you're eating healthy and you're being active, but there is damaging effects to being in a calorie deficit for 5 years, 10 years, or some people 20 years that I've seen with members come in with us. So always put your health first. And if you connected with any of these 5 ways, I highly recommend that you do a reverse diet, minimum 3 months to 6 months, and then do a little maintenance for at least 2 months, ideally a little bit longer. Just see it as a lean bulking phase where you have the opportunity to pack on some more muscle. And if psychologically it's harder to accept that you're going to have to do that to do a fat loss, because I've dealt with that with members, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram if you want help with that and you want guidance and support and accountability. There's a link down below in the show notes where you can book your free consultation call with one of our Fit Vegan goal setting coaches. Love to have a conversation to see if we would be able to help you throughout the process. Where's your current situation? Hey, how long have you been under eating? What type of exercise you're doing? How long you exercise? And to see what the strategy would need to be to put you in a place where you can actually have the body that you want, have the energy, and actually have the health that you deserve to have. So there's a link down below in the show notes for that. And I just want to say a massive thank you for you guys for listening to this episode. I try to keep them short, and I never do a good job. I don't know how long it's been with this recording, but hopefully you got some value from it. If you enjoyed the podcast, I don't ask this very often, but feel free to leave a review, right? 1 star, 5 star, whatever your heart is connected to do. Hopefully you got some value from it. And I'm very excited to connect with you guys on the episode that is this upcoming Monday. And we have a very special guest, one of your favorite doctors that I'll be interviewing for the first time on the show will be out on Wednesday. So you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Ciao.